about 8 months' time, people just saw me like I am aging, like so extremely fast. I became, from a very vibrant young person, I just became an old person, absolutely. Totally weak and shaky in 8 months' time. My hair grayed completely, my whole body changed, everything happened. Everybody knew anyway I'm going to die shortly. They knew, because I had told them, I had prepared them for this, I told, this is how much I'm going to live, beyond that it will not be there. So I used my body, my energy body recklessly, because within a certain time I had to do this. So we used the body so recklessly that the aging process happened like that. So metal, if you have metal on your body, you will not leave the body accidentally. So that's why the ring is always put on people who are doing intense sadhanas. The whole science of yoga itself is extrapolated in the form of sutras, various kinds of sutras. Over 200 sutras makes the whole body of yogic knowledge. So when they say sutra, in that context, they're talking about just the basic. When the Yoga Sutras, when we say Yoga Sutras, when Patanjali kind of assimilated Yoga Sutras, sutra means a thread. He gave only the thread. He left the responsibility, the mastery and the artistry of making the garland to each master. The sutra is same, the thread is same, but what kind of garland you make out of it is different. There can never be a garland without the thread, but nobody ever wears a garland for the sake of the thread. We wear the garland for the flowers that it bears. You can put flowers on it, you can put beads on it, you can put pearls on it, you could put diamonds on it. But without the thread, there is no garland. But you never wear the garland for the sake of the thread. Thread is vital, but that's not it is not a purpose by itself, it's not a goal by itself. So, we found many other ways to use the thread. You have heard of Mangal Sutra? You tied one? Okay. If it was properly done, the idea was binding two beings as one. That was the idea. Today it's just become a ritual, that's different. But if someone is there who knows how to do this, you mix up the two DNAs in such a way that energy-wise they cannot be separated. Doesn't matter what happens. Many things may happen in the course of life. You may quarrel over big things, you may quarrel over petty things, but you cannot separate because the energies are bound in a certain way. You have to tear yourself apart, that's the only way you can go. It's not like shedding your clothes, it's like peeling your skin off. Now Abhaya Sutra is not made to bind you. Two kinds of sutras, both are being called Abhaya Sutra. The terminology Abhaya Sutra goes better with the Devi Sutra, which is red in color. When you get the sutra for the Panchabhuta Aradhana, which is connected to the Dhyana Linga, it is more to enhance certain dimensions of who you are, fundamentally to enhance the spiritual dimension. Then why is it being called Abhaya Sutra? You need to understand Bhaya means fear. The basis of fear is your physicality. If you are not physical, would you have fear? Would you? No. It is the limitations of the physical which causes fear. If you are not at all physical, you wouldn't be fearful of anything, isn't it? So in that context, it is Abhaya. But essentially, it is the sutra of transcendence. But we did not want to use too many names. You'll get confused, you know. So, this also leads to a state of nirbhaya or fearlessness. We can call this Nirbhaya Sutra, that is Abhaya Sutra. That is more like a protection. This is to enhance the spiritual dimension of who you are so that you become less physical. If you are not so physical, there is not much fear in you. But the Devi Sutra is more like a protection. There are two ways to be free of thieves. If you're always afraid a burglar may come into your house and steal, one way is to put a guard outside. Another way is not to have anything and nobody will come. Even if you invite him, he won't come, he'll go somewhere else. So this is his way, nothing, so nobody will come, so fearless. There, you want to put a guard, you still have stuff, you want a guard. I see many hands which have both, that's good. So how to dispose it? You can keep it for a minimum of 40 days. If you're not using soap, too much soap, it will last much longer. If you're using a lot of soap, at least for 40 days it will remain vibrant. If you're using only cold water, it will last much longer. If you're having bath with warm water, at least 40 days it will last. It is… if the thread maintains its tenacity, then it will maintain the energy. So somewhere between 40 to 60 days, if it's just become a thread, there's no point wearing thread and walking around. So you can take it off and put it somewhere where it'll disintegrate easily. Usually the tradition is to dig a small hole near a plant and put it because it gets watered and within 3 days it will be gone. It should not get into somebody else's hands, that's important. Something that's been so intimately on your body, a certain marriage has happened between you and Devi and between you and Dhyanalinga, a small-scale marriage. When that has happened, it's best that it should not get into somebody else's hands. If they know how to use it, they can finger you. So you must always bury it. If you don't have a place to bury, you must burn it. You can burn it, take the ash and smear it on your body from your Vishuddhi down. That's a simple way of doing it. Otherwise, you bury it.
The significance of sacred thread ceremony.
Sacred?
Sacred thread ceremony.
Oh. See, in ancient times when people were in a certain level of understanding and experience, somebody created a tool A cotton thread with certain substances can be energized in a very powerful way. Now, I shouldn't be talking about these things, but see, now I got a little thread on my… this thing. This is in many ways keeps me alive, physically alive, because I'm still subsisting on some other people after the consecration. You should have seen me in about 8 months, maximum of 8 months. I aged about 25 years during the consecration process, certain period of consecration, about 8 months' time. People just saw me like I'm aging, like so extremely fast. I became, from a very vibrant young person, I just became an old person, absolutely, totally weak and shaky in 8 months' time. My hair grayed completely, my whole body changed, everything happened. Everybody knew anyway I'm going to die shortly. They knew, because I had told them, I had prepared them for this, I had told, this is how much I'm going to live, beyond that it will not be there. So I used my body, my energy body recklessly, because within a certain time I had to do this. So we used the body so recklessly that the aging process happened like that. Then because of so many things and so many people are so deeply involved with this, and halfway people are there, so we thought we will do something about the body, and we started doing this. And these are… you shouldn't believe all this nonsense that I'm talking, okay? Don't disbelieve it, just see somebody's talking so much nonsense, let me see, start digging deeper into yourself and see if such things are possible. My pranic body, my energy body became so insipid and weak. See, death means just this, please understand. If somebody dies of injury, disease, something else, it's different. When somebody dies of old age, what is happening is, your energy body is slowly losing its vibrance. It becomes less and less and less vibrant. It becomes… the vibrance becomes so low, now it can't hold on to the body anymore. It loses grip on the body, and the person just goes. That's all that's happening, that's what death is. The vibrance of the energy body is charged with certain things. There are so many factors which makes it as vibrant as it is. Now with your pranayama, you're trying to make your energy body very vibrant. So, for it to lose vibrance, it may take longer. This is how we are saying it will enhance your lifespan, because it makes the pranic body vibrant. So dying of old age means the energy body has lost its vibrance to such an extent that it can't stick to the body anymore, it has to be separated. So my energy body became so weak and so without vibrance, and staying on with the body became a problem, everything aching and my muscles simply tearing. If I just do like this muscle will tear. If I do like this, my muscle will tear. People who were around me were witness to this. Anywhere and everything, if I sit down, one muscle will tear, if I stand up, one muscle will tear, Today, in the last 2.5 years, slowly I'm recovering, I'm still not 100%. This recovery to happen, some people have really given their lives. In many ways, the pranic nadis have been tied outside. It's just like tying a guy wire to your building. Suppose the building is shaky, it's going to fall down, now you tie a cable to something else which is more stable. So like that, your nadis have been tied to certain people who are very stable and there. It's almost like they're literally willing to offer their lives, they're that kind of people. So tying up knots here and there, slowly, I'm improving my body gradually, it's much, much better today. Otherwise, sometimes the doctors checked up my blood and other things, my blood work is so crazy, they couldn't believe all kinds of weird diseases my blood is showing. United States, they check my blood, they can't believe it. Every time they take it, it is showing up all kinds of weird diseases. They say it's impossible that you can have so many things and still be going about and doing things. And now all those things have disappeared and body is much more stable and looking healthy and better now. So this thread is a simple means to tie yourself up to somebody's nadis. Without the thread also it can be done. Thread is an assistance that, it can be done in a certain way. So a cotton thread can be used in certain ways, making certain processes happen. It can become a very powerful means. So your Janivaram, what do you call this? Okay, what do you call it in Hindi or Marathi or whatever? Whatever, the thread, the sacred thread. This started like this. When people were in that level of awareness and experience, they started like this. The Guru energizes the thread and puts it on you, which changes the very quality of your life. When people come to the ashram, when they come full-time or they come to do certain sadhanas, we don't tell them why. Only now in the last few years we started talking about it, otherwise all these years we never spoke about it. Somebody comes, I always give them a copper ring to wear. They cannot remove it, must always be there on their finger, on their left hand, ring finger. Why this is, when they do very intense sadhanas, you know what's a samadhi? Samadhi means sama and di. Sama means equanimous, di means buddhi, equanimous state of intellect. When intellect becomes equanimous, there is no duality. When there is no duality, when you don't know which is me and which is you, now your life energies do not know where to be, so they may go anywhere. So the point of contact with the body becomes less and less. It can be brought down to a point where your point of contact with the body is just one-pointed. When somebody becomes one-pointed contact, we say nirvikalpa samadhi. If a person is in this state, if I just do this, he will leave the body for good. Even a pinprick is enough. Just prick him with the pin, he will leave the body. He will be in such a fragile state. His contact with the body is so minimal, he is elsewhere already. But just one point contact with the body, this is known as samadhi. When people are in such states, we keep them in protected atmospheres, very, very tightly protected atmospheres. Nobody is allowed to go there except a few people who are prepared for such situations. But when we do certain work, one of the things was the consecration of Dhyanalinga. We were required to be, people who were involved were required to be in such states of samadhi, but at the same time they were required to be intensely active, which is very risky. People can very easily leave the body. One moment of unawareness, they can leave the body and they may not be sometimes able to regain the body. So certain precautions were taken, everything was done, but when it was coming to a close, certain situations happened which we had to face in so many ways. And I had always set my life in such a way, once the lingam consecration is over, I will leave. I had planned my life that way, everything was settled that way, all preparations were made for me to leave. But because of certain situations, certain changes that happened in the situation, we made efforts to recover the body. In the process of consecrating the lingam, I used my body and my energy so blatantly. Those who have seen me before, or if you see my pictures, you will see in just about 8 to 9 months, I aged almost 25 to 30 years. You will see my pictures. In 8 months' time, I have aged almost 25, 30 years. Because we used the system so blatantly. Because I never planned to live beyond that, I had my body completely ruined by the time I finished the consecration. You should see my medical reports, my blood work and other CAT scans and other things. Every day doctors were, diagnosing me with some bizarre disease which is no way to recover or something like that. I have not been through any treatment. In the last 4 years, we have been working on the system. Today it's much better. Accordingly, my activity is increasing. I have not been inactive, I have been constantly active these 4 years, but it was quite something to keep the body going. But now it's so much better, it's not 100% yet. Still on some kind of support system. but it is so much better, it's recovered. So metal, if you have metal on your body, you will not leave the body accidentally. So that's why the ring is always put on people who are doing intense sadhanas. Unknowingly they may leave the body. So people were afraid that I will leave and they put a shackle on me.